It's a V6 3.1 liter oil pan gasket replacement. Got gasket right there. First thing you have to do is we'll jack up the car and loosen the oil thing, whatever you want. And then drain the oil because, yeah. But right now it's a complete mess. Like everywhere. It's dripping from, the gasket. It's obviously ripped. Drain the oil and we'll go from there. It's a 13 millimeter. What's the way? No, wait. Yes. 13 millimeter. Oh man. Alright, just let that drain. But you have to take the oil fill plug up there, up top, off, so releases pressure and so it all drains out. I'm not going to get every last drop out because I'm going to take it out anyway and then clean it. Once it stops pouring, it's like slowly dripping up, put it back on. Alright, I'm gonna call that good. Don't want to dip it in the little catch can. Whatever it's called, I don't know. Where's it right? Okay, we're just gonna tighten that, snug it. Okay, the next thing is we have to remove the starter. Make sure you unplug the negative side of the battery, just because dealing with wires and you don't want to get electrocuted or cause a short or whatever. The next thing is to get the starter out. Alright, I went and cleaned it up just a tiny bit, just so you can see a little better. But where's it at? Should be 3, I believe, 10 millimeter bolts. Here's one. It just holds this plastic piece, which we're going to take off first. Another one in here. I'm going to take the first one off back here because this one might be a separate piece of plastic. I'm not for sure yet, but we'll see in just a second. I'm going to take this one off. Yeah, might just be this one. Or if I can see it. Might just be this one. Go ahead and take that one off. If that doesn't take the plastic piece completely off, then I'm going to go ahead and take these other two off. Alright, went ahead and took this plastic piece out, and it was just held on by one bolt. Make sure to put that aside, I guess. Don't really want to lose these things. Actually, usually just set them in containers, all the bolts and whatnot. That uncovered. Where am I at? Uncover this bolt back here. I believe it's 15 millimeter, and then the one up here is also 15 millimeter. And these two should be the only two that are holding it. These two other bolts that I was talking about, those weren't holding nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these two bolts out, right here and right there, and then we're gonna pull the starter out. Okay, it does look like it is a 15 millimeter, and this bolt up here wasn't even tight. If I could show it, whatever, up in here, yeah. But this one, it's gonna be pretty long. I'll get the other one out as well, wherever the heck it is. There. Alright, for the second bolt up there, I already got it out. But what you have to do is actually remove this second cover with the two 10 millimeter bolts. Here's the cover. And then what I used was this 50 millimeter socket with the whatever it's called. This thing that moves. I forgot what it's called. And then a long extension. And then you just stick it right in there and then slowly get it out. That's better. And then I'm gonna remove the wires on this starter. And then I'm gonna pull it out. I don't know if you see it. I'm not sure. Okay, whatever. I have to remove these wires. I can't see. Okay, move the wires. There should be a small one. This is a small one. And this big one. And go ahead and pull it out. So this bottom one right here is going to be a 8 millimeter. And then top one up here is going to be a 13 millimeter. Just to help anyone out. Yeah. Went ahead and took those out. And I put the bolts back on here just because I don't want to lose them. But in theory, oh man, should just lift out. Just like that. Okay, the reason why we did that is to get access to all these bolts up here that are part of the oil pan. The next thing we're going to do, because we have to get all these bolts right here, where is it? Here. These ones too, but to get to the ones back here, we have to take the AC compressor out. So there's a bolt here, one up here, and then a third one back here. But before we do that, I'm gonna take the timing belt out. And to do that, we have to do that from the top. But then we're gonna disconnect this, undo the bolts, and it should pull right out after we take the timing belt off. What I did is put the ratchet onto this little, I don't know what size, 3/4 inch, might be, I don't know. But that's little square. And then you're gonna pull it up, and then you're gonna loosen the timing, well, you're gonna take the timing belt off. Okay. And then you can slowly release it back down. I'm just gonna take it all the way off. Don't worry, because there is a diagram how to put it back on. Just gonna take the whole thing out. But diagram's gonna be right here, so you don't have to worry about forgetting how to put it back on. But another thing to look for, your belt while you have it off, if it's dry rotted, This one looks pretty good. Doesn't have any cracks or anything. It's pretty new. It's not that long ago. But yeah. Next we're gonna head back down there and get the AC compressor out. Okay, so these 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. Pretty sure one of them you have to take out all the way. I'm not sure. I'll see how it goes as I go, but I don't believe you have to take the whole thing out. But I took the sensor off. I just slid it up there. But I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Got all these bolts out, so now it's loose. It moves freely. But what I'm gonna do is get an engine support, because back here on the other side of this, there's some bolts. But I'm gonna put the engine support bar on first and I'll show you in a second. The engine support bar sits across the bay, and I'm only using one hook. Show you where that goes as well, but don't really need the other hook or chains or anything. I'll show you in a second. I put the engine support bar over, but what I did was hook it to this engine lift spot and just snugged it. Don't have to turn it too much because it's just going to be holding it at the moment. But once we undo those bolts down there for the engine mounts, then we're going to lift it a couple inches. Yeah, go from there. I took this cover off, held on by 3 plastic pin screws or whatever it's called, and I'm just covering all that. And now I can see the engine mount more clear. That's also part of the oil pan. And we're gonna go ahead. Let me look at it first. Alright, so these 2 bolts are a pain to get out, but there's one here and then one on the other side. One of them would not come out, so I hit it with the hammer, but covered it so it wasn't denting it. But yeah, got it out. Didn't want to dent it or anything, so I made a soft hammer. It kind of, but it worked. And yeah. Oh yeah, I went ahead and disconnected this. You're obviously gonna have to do that. So oil sensor, whatever. Oil level sensor, something like that. But yeah. But since we got this hinge mount bracket bolts out or whatever, we're gonna be removing all the other bolts that actually hold the oil pan in. You can see them at the top up here. Those are across. There's some back there. I believe there's one back there, you can't really see it. More back here, I can't see it too well. But there's also some along the back. I don't see any over here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do all that. So there's 2 bolts on this side. They're gonna be all the way, if I could get my hand up there. There's one here and one on the other side, kind of in these divots right here. So there's 2 on this side, on this side, but I already got them out. There's 2, where it is. There's 2. I don't know if you see it. Okay, so 1, 2, the AC compressor, and there's 3. That's the bolts. There's the 2 back ones, and there's 2 front ones over there. It should just be able to lift the engine, in theory. I'm wrong. You have to undo these 3 bolts right here on each one, and then we'll lift it. just slowly turn it. Make sure you're not pinching anything. And lift it a couple inches. When I was lifting it up, I forgot to take these 3 bolts off. 1, 2, and it's back there. 3. These 3 bolts need to come off. It's part of the engine mount. I got those 3 bolts out, and now this is loose. Okay, fall back down. I don't care. But this is one of them. 2, 3, back there somewhere. Lift that engine line, but which I already did. Well, should be able to come out, hopefully. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is get like a knife or something like metal, and then you're just gonna stick it in between. Kind of just pry the whole thing. Pry the whole thing apart, just slowly. It'll take a while. Then it should just fall right off. Putting the new gasket on, and I just have to gasket. Just have to get all the way around this to get it back there, and then the other corner, and then these corners up here. We're gonna put some silicone, one on this side and one on the other side. The other side over there. Same thing, kind of like this side, put silicone. And then everything else just sits in here. And then you just put it back up. That's pretty much it. It's gonna take a while though. Okay, I got bolts back in, main bolts. And what I'm gonna do for the floor plan is put these 6 bolts in. Where is that? There's an empty one right there. There's 3 in the front, 3 in the back. And I forgot to show you guys. I had to take this mount off. Held on by 6 bolts. It's on the left side. You can kind of see where that bolt is, but it's going all the way up there. I had to take that off, and then I lifted it a little bit. Got the new gasket. It's pretty high up. And I also had to jack this up, just so it's not putting a whole bunch of tension on the whatever it's called. Yeah, putting a whole bunch of tension on that. Alright, so these compressor back in, put the belts back on, and then we put the starter in, connected those wires up there, back up, make sure there's a washer in between. Connector back on. The clip is broken on this one, it's been broken, but it holds. Oh yeah. I was just gonna check to see if the plug is tight. Which it is. And then what you have to do is fill it with oil, start it, and then check to see if there's any leaks. It all got drained out. Well,
because I leaked it. Oh, I drained it. And then I put the dog kicked rocks into the oil that I was just gonna put back in, but I'm not gonna do that. So I just went and got new oil. So I'm putting full tank because it's completely empty, obviously. I'm gonna check for leaks really quick, just to see.
Don't see anywhere where it would be leaking. Okay. I'm gonna put the cap back on. Go ahead and start it and see what happens. Also, check the oil level to see if it's low. And it's full. Let's go ahead and start it. Let's check for leaks. Okay, first you gotta plug the battery back in. Let me plug the battery back in and then try to start it again. Alright. Check for leaks. I think I did a pretty good job. Yeah. No leaks. Started right up so fast. Forgot I don't have oil, guys. Oh man, it's cold out here. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do an oil pan gasket on a V6 3.1 liter. The car is a 96 Pontiac Grand Prix SE, if you wanted to know. Pretty much it. Yeah.